Want help to grow your business? Download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi, I'm Dale Beaumont and welcome to another episode of Secrets Exposed. This is the series that takes you up close and personal with leading business experts. And our topic for this interview is how to better manage your business payments. That coming up in just a moment. My special guest today is Trent McLaren, and our topic is how to better manage your business payments. Trent, welcome back to the studio.
Hey, Dale, thanks for having me.
All right, so let's talk about business payments. Apart from the obvious, why is this such an important topic?
Yeah, look, business is not necessarily a charity. You're in business to make money. Getting paid is a whole process and point of that. And in some aspects, the way you get paid is a really integral part of your business strategy. Do you make money? Are you making it in time? And the different types of payment methods you have available can really determine whether your clients do or don't buy from you. So yeah, payments are a really important piece of how you actually run.
Yeah, and also about cash flow management as well, which is so kind of important.
Yeah.
Because some businesses just, they've done all the work, but they're not getting paid till much later, and that can cause a lot of major problems.
Yeah, completely agree. I think, in most countries around the world, the average debtor days starts anywhere from like 40 to 90 days. Once you've done the job, you're waiting that amount of time to get paid. So that generally means that your payment systems aren't great. You're allowing your customers to pay you when they feel like it. You're not setting them up to succeed in fulfilling that payment. And it's really important to have process, rules, structures on what this payment would look like for the client, and penalties if they're not paying you on time. Yeah, what happens if they don't pay you on time once, twice, 3 times? There need to be penalties because you need to be able to shape and change behaviour on clients interacting with you.
Now, in the past, it was a pretty simple sort of process. You had cash, or you might kind of deal with the sort of big banks. It seems like now in the last few years, there's so many options for business owners in this space, and it's not as straightforward as it used to be.
No, look, there's the financial tech industry is like booming all across the world. There are so many different tech payment providers just popping up every year or so. From online e-commerce to digital, just B2B, bank-to-bank transaction types, to fee funding, to lending, to short-term loans, to long-term loans. Like, there's so many different ways both small business owners and customers can attain fees or funds to either pay for services or get fees back.
So what we're going to try and do is simplify things and maybe group them during this kind of interview, and you'll probably fall into one or more of these categories. But let's kind of list out some of the different kind of ways that people can make payment. What are some of the big options?
Yeah, so obviously you've got your merchant terminals, you've got online payment gateways through your website. You can now incorporate payment gateways into digital invoices, proposals, contracts. You can set up direct debit using either a paper authority form or a digital sign-up form through your website. You've also got the ability for short-term loan as well, or fee funding of your outstanding invoices. So basically you have a provider that pays you the full amount of your receivables with the contract that you'll pay them back once those invoices are all paid off.
Okay, so lots of different options. Now, what would be the first step if someone wants to if we're just starting with the basics and people have been running their business on cash, but you now sort of want to move away towards sort of, charging people's credit card? What's the first step there?
Have identified the customer experience that you want to happen. How long does it take you to fulfill the transaction? If you think about coffee shops or food, hospitality, you can always see a long line of people at a register, and you look at the person at the front and they're fumbling through their purse, trying to get out coins and all that kind of stuff, and everyone else starts to get grumpy going, "What are you doing? Can you just tap and go, like pull out your Visa and just tap it and get out of my way so I can get my coffee," because we get antsy and a bit angry. Identify your customer experience. Identify what that looks like. What do you want that payment process to be? What is going to work for you and for your client? How do you make it marry both up at the same time?
Okay, so let's talk about being able to accept payment via credit cards. So some businesses would have a physical terminal if you're in front of your customers, sort of face to face. So how would you go about, or do you even need to get a physical terminal anymore? What are your options?
Yeah, so I think, sort of 10 years ago, physical terminals were all the rage, and they were basically the only option to take Visa or Visa debit cards, credit cards in store. Today, you don't need physical terminals. You can actually look at other providers that aren't supplied by the bank that just plug in straight into your iPad. Great example, a company called Square Payments. They actually give you a free point of sale system that you use on your iPad. You can buy their little chip and card reader from Officeworks, from Bunnings, or your retailer or office home provider, wherever you are in the world. $19 for this little thing. Put it into your iPad, and you can start processing payments online through your iPad. Great for hospitality, great for retail, great for people that go to markets and stalls and all those kinds of things. The secondary option you'll find, and particularly in some parts of the world, companies like Tyro, which is an alternative to a merchant terminal. So it looks like a merchant terminal, but it's not run by a bank. It's run by independent. They run all over the world as well and offer really competitive rates without the long-term contracts. And that's the big plus of not necessarily using a bank's merchant gateway or a terminal gateway. Banks will always try to put you in for a 1 to 2 year contract, a minimum processing fee. So you're paying anywhere from $50 to $250 a month if you're not processing a minimum amount of money, plus then your merchant fees on top of that, which is your Visa and MasterCard interchange rates. So depending on what type of cards go through your terminal, maybe it's a platinum type card that comes with higher rates that a business owner would have to pay. So those are all the things that you kind of need to be mindful of. But you find with terminals provided by banks, they are a bit more rules in place to make sure that you, A, don't leave them, and B, they make sure they make money out of you, whether you're making money or not. Versus things like Square as an alternative, it's just your percentage of payments. There's no other fees, there's no setup contract other than the fixed $19.
And you're not locked in for a
You're
period
not
of
locked
time.
in. It's month to month. You just pay what you
And some
processed.
banks even want to see your financials as well and kind of know how much you're going to be making.
Correct. Yeah. Some banks and applying for a FPOS terminal is almost like pulling teeth. Sometimes it's like doing a home loan application. They want to see 60 to 90 days worth of business trading. They want to know what your forecasts are, what you're going to use it for. And there's a lot of security reasons in place. They want to make sure you're a legitimate business. You're not doing anything wrong. But in some cases, it does feel like overkill sometimes. Whereas, it can be easy to set up with, say, a Square or a Stripe or a PayPal or whatever it may be, where you can get started instantly versus 3 to 4 weeks turnaround with the banks.
So if you have a physical interaction with your customers, you've obviously got the bank terminals, but we're saying keep an open mind, look at other alternatives, Square being one of them. And now you can use a lot of hardware that you have, like your mobile phone or any tablet device, just by putting in a dongle.
Yep.
And you can now basically turn your phone or a tablet into a credit card terminal.
Correct, yeah. And that's probably the most popular part. If you do run a mobile-based business, you're a tradesman, service-based professional, you can do your quotes on your phone, take payment on the spot, and then go and do that job. A lot of people wouldn't do that. They get home, they write up their quotes in a Word document, or they write it all down on paper, and then they won't send or try and ask for payment for another week, 2 weeks to 4 weeks. Knowing that that's the current method or the existing method, there's no surprises why our debtor days on average is quite large. It's because our payment processes aren't set up for success in the first place.
So if you can take payment on the spot, then it's obviously ideal, and there's some great methods to do that. What about if you're not physically in front of your clients, you were in another city, but you gave me your credit card details and said, oh, just, charge my credit card.
Yeah.
Would I do it on a physical terminal on my end, or could I just do it through an online platform like my computer?
You could do it straight into an online platform.
So
or
what
you
options
could
are available there? Would I go through the banks again, or does Square have something where I could do it on my computer?
Yeah, so things like Square or even PayPal or Stripe in this example, they're really great online payment facilities. You can get online payment facilities again through your bank, but it's a very similar process to applying for a terminal or, as I mentioned before, a home loan. They want to know what you're setting an online payment system up for. Is it going into a website? Do you have all the financials to back up that you're a legitimate business? Again, trying to make sure that you're not too a risky business to do banking with. Versus a Stripe or a PayPal or a Square is generally a same-day setup, so you can start processing the same day that you sign up, and that's key because, again, speed, we want to start working. So in that example, client gives you a call, you can put that straight into your computer or straight into your phone. What I would recommend is that you do be mindful of what systems you are using. In certain countries around the world, they have what we call a PCI DSS standard, which is the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standard. It costs a couple of $100,000 every year to be at this minimum requirement of.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit Bryn.ai or search the App Store today.